Hey guys, Steve here. Just want to say hello. It's a quick Thanksgiving update. Getting ready for Valor and Fortitude. I'm going through the process of basically redoing all of my Napoleonic units. So it's going to be a little bit of a labor of love. It's going to take a little bit of time, but that's all right. It's worth it. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to all of you guys for just being awesome since it is Thanksgiving. And a special thanks to Doug Carmichael. Back in March 2022, Doug sent me a bunch of British Napoleonic figures he was getting rid of. He was getting out of the 28mm game, going into Epic. Didn't have a big enough table, I think is what he said. So he kind of gifted a bunch of stuff to me. And that was just crazy that he was able to do that. And I put, when they showed up, I put a lot of them together. And I think I made like 8 line battalions and 2 cavalry squadrons out of it. So it was awesome. Along with the units that he sent me, there were some sprues. And I think they were Vitrix Scottish guys. They didn't have the weapons with them, so I went ahead and finally, after a year and a bit, I kind of did some kit batching, and these figures are those. A lot of these figures are the Vitrix bodies and heads, and then I took extra from Perry French Napoleonic figures. I took the arms off those guys and put them on, just to make up enough rifles to or muskets to get these guys done. So yay. So that finishes up my Scottish brigade, which I'm very thrilled about. And I touched these guys all up, and I'm very happy compared to where they were originally, which wasn't terrible, but from what I've learned over the last 2 years from watching your guys' tutorials and stuff, I feel like I'm a little bit better painter, so I'm just thrilled the fact that I could just go back and update these gentlemen and make them a unit that's a bit more pleasing to the eye and put them on the battlefield. So I'm excited for my Highland Brigade. They're going to do some serious damage. These figures are a combination of Warlord medals, Vitrix, and Perry's. So it's the whole shabil shebang bang. So it's the big 3 really. So the battalions within this brigade are the 79th. This is the 91st now, the newer one. Then we get the 92nd, and then the 42nd. Take a look at them from behind. When I first got into painting Napoleonics, I was just kind of happy to have anything on the battlefield. You can go back and watch some of my original videos. I didn't even know the canteens are supposed to be blue. So thankfully you guys are an awesome community and had so many painting tutorials that I've watched millions of, and picked up on a lot of little tricks that makes your can make an average painter look a little better. And I got those canteens all done now, so let's just change the color of all those from the Black Watch and the Cameron Highlander, so they're kind of a bit more accurate. I definitely don't have like the facings and the kilts in the right colors. It's a pretty much a kilt assault. This unit here especially, it was just, Doug had a bunch of guys left over with some kilts already done, so I kind of just tried to match up with what I had to try to tie it all in together. But I got a feeling they're from a bunch of different clans, and I want to get them on the battlefield. And they don't look as terrible as some things, but yeah, you can at least tell they're a Highland unit. That's probably about it. But thanks again, Doug. You're a freaking phenomenal person. And I got into wargaming in general. I always wanted to do it. I just assumed I couldn't paint good enough, so I kind of went off into playing like games like Total War and Empires at War on the computer, because I'm like, I can't paint good enough. And then during the pandemic, I'm like, screw it. I need something to keep me sane because, I mean, I was at work almost every single day putting people in body bags because we weren't curing people. That, everybody was, a lot of people were dying. And I'd come home and I'm like, I need something to decompress. I can come home and get hammered every night, but that's no fun. So this was a positive outlet for me. Probably kept me sane along, this hobby and you guys as a community. And I just never looked back. All I've done is just, thanks to YouTube for, having this platform for us to share stuff and me to watch stuff is, in my opinion, insanely awesome. And I'm just thankful for it. I mean, I started off watching, Travis, and he wasn't even tabletop CP then. I think he was bolt action CP at least when I first started watching him. Tim, the Napoleonic Wargamer, I watched the hell out of his channel to basically learn a lot of the history and learn about the units. Started watching Alex at Storm of Steel. He had some great battle reports, turned me on to a bunch of rule sets I've never heard of before. Between him and Travis and Tim and Alex, they had painting tutorials. I found, thanks to the guys at Mini War Games, I learned about the Plastic Crack podcast. I started listening to those guys. They're awesome. I mean, that's it's 4 guys that are, that are just, you got 2, like I pretty consider professional painters in Steve and Martin, and then you just got a machine painter in Dom who can just, I don't even know how he does it. I don't know if he has a cocaine habit. I know he doesn't, but Dom can sit down and paint 6,000 figures in a week, and it's just inspiring. And then looking at some of the work that that Steve and Martin can crank out, I mean, wow. I know I'll never be to that level, but just they're willing to share and they're very humble. Because I mean, yeah, they can paint the crap out of paint most people under the table, but they're still very complimentary and a very great resource for the entire community. So that's very very thankful for people like that. And then going back to Tim, I mean, when you get into this hobby, you might be turned off before you even start because, one, you can't paint like these guys. You see pictures, like, I remember looking back in the 80s at magazines like White Dwarf and stuff and going, well, I'll never be able to paint that. So I just immediately, I'm like, that'd be a great hobby, but I just can't do it. And then you're like, watching history, or knowing enough about history, like, well, I know a little bit about history, but I don't know enough. But if between just, watching things on YouTube, like, all these guys I mentioned before, a lot of them have historical battles. Tim, the Napoleonic Wargamer, he always has basically historical education almost, but it's very entertaining stuff. There's also channels like History March and stuff like that you can listen to and pick up on just tons of different things, and they're all kind of free, which is nuts. And then a lot of the guys' battles are actually doing a recreation of a historical battle. So then you can, a lot of people will talk about the actual battle itself. So you'll learn some tidbits in that too, and you'll learn about certain units and what certain countries did. And you can pick up tactics, and it just makes. Then to top it all, you're playing a phenomenal game. All these, I mean, no matter what war system you pick, because I think it's about 1 billion in Napoleonics. I only really play 2 so far. Is that right? Yeah, just Black Powder and General des Armées is all I've played so far. But you've seen, like, Alex just had a blue chair game on, and I think that now there's Valor and Fortitude. You can watch that, and if you watch Frazier over at VK, he's like Dom on steroids too. He cranks out tons of units too. He's always playing stuff too. This is an ungodly amount of different subscriptions I make of channels you can watch, and just by hitting the search bar and then just hanging out and things like the Plastic Crack podcast and hearing just everybody talking and just they go, hey, this guy's got a channel, go check it out, and you go watch it. Like, that's freaking cool as hell. And then before you know it, you've watched 3 hours of their stuff, and you've painted 120 guys, and you're done. So overall, I could keep rambling forever, but basically I just want to say thanks to all you guys. You're all amazing. I hope to be able to paint half as good as all of you one day, and I really appreciate everything you do. It's, you know, and I just, at this time of Thanksgiving, I just want to say that. And then also the, you know, if you don't watch the Plastic Crack podcast, they had a phenomenal show the other day. Get a little bit off the rails a little bit. I don't even go there, but just, it was people in the community all saying, you know, hey, you can use this you can use this for that, or this for that, and you know, turning everyday things into, you know, things you can use in the hobby, and things you can use to make terrain. Oh, and then also like Mel, the terrain tutor, and this bunch of terrain guys too. I almost forgot to even mention them. They're all amazing too. So, yeah, but people willing to share their love and passion for the game, and their knowledge, and you know, their mistakes, and their, you know, and their, you know, and celebrate their victories on the battle, you know, in the hobby, and say, hey, this works great, do this. Simple things like even Alex sharing that a certain spray varnish works amazingly well and doesn't frost your flags. Something like that is crazy. I don't even know what, when I started the hobby, even like after I've been doing it for about a year, I didn't even know what dang a wash was. And then Travis pointed out, you know, on one of his painting tutorials, using Agrax Earthshade, which I'd never used before. And now I'm like, I might as well own stock in the company. And it just makes your figures look a whole lot better. And you got guys making their own washes. You got guys doing contrast paints, speed paints. I mean, this wet palettes, dry palettes. I didn't even touch half the stuff. And then I just bought a 3D printer. It's not even here yet. I'm already starting to watch videos on that. It's just like everything you do and covers another aspect of the hobby, but there's still a video there or someone to help you along. So, and that's just what I'm thankful for. So you guys are awesome. Keep it up. I'm going to turn the table around. We're going to do a fictional 1840 just engagement between the French, who, when I say French, I also mean Swiss, Polish, and Italian, and French, versus the so it'll be English, British, Irish, Hanoverians, and other Germans from the KGL, and we'll have a little battle, and I'll try out this new Scottish unit. In the background, I've got some sprues of more Perry miniatures back there. I think even when I do get the 3D printer, I'll still have to support the hobby, so I'll do my part to help the Perrys out, because they're my favorite sprues now. Yeah, and I know a lot of people, you know, put their stuff on wine corks and stuff. I sprue paint. I learned that from Napoleonic Wargamer, and just kind of stuck with it. It seems to be a great way for me to paint a lot of guys very quickly. So, yeah, especially when your units aren't... I play with 32-man units. I know people can do some bigger stuff, but yeah, and these guys are all by Doug Carmichael, so yeah, he's awesome. And then of course thanks to Warlord and Perry and Vitrix and all the other manufacturers and everything else that I haven't mentioned. You guys are, the whole shebang bang is amazing. So you guys are great. Thank you. I'll hopefully be able to get this. I'm gonna start messing this table up right now and start getting ready for just a straight up battle. It's gonna be on it's gonna use the whole table, so it'll be 7 foot by. Oop, I'm taking pictures of the grass. So you'll get the same old cinematography here, nothing the highest standards. 7 foot by 15 foot battle. should have probably 7 or 8 brigades each. So I'm gonna get every single figure I got on the board. So somewhere a couple thousand. 28 millimeter figures blowing each other up. I'm interested to play this game. I've watched the Perry and the Jervis Johnson doing their tutorial. I watched the tutorial on Mini War Games TV. Those guys are awesome. That game show they do every year for their awards. Those guys are great. I love it. And I've downloaded everything from and their quick reference sheet too. So I remember one of the guys from Mini War Games says his gaming group was amazed how fast units started disappearing in chunks. So I'm interested to watch that unfold. So it's cool. All right, so give it a whirl, and then I'll notch number 3 Napoleonic rule system under my belt as I continue on this outstanding hobby that hopefully we all know and love. You guys are phenomenal. Once again, Doug, thanks again for this unit. I hope I did at least halfway good enough to make you say, hey, put these guys together. I'm kind of happy where they are. Most of these dudes were beat up. So thanks to our United States Postal Service. And they resemble a fighting force. I'm pretty happy to call them mine. So thank you very much again, and happy belated Thanksgiving to all you guys, even if you're in a different country. You guys are phenomenal. I'll see you later. Take care and keep on gaming.